Let me take you back to the summer of 2014 in the quiet, leafy town of Westfield, New Jersey. A peaceful suburb with beautiful homes, friendly neighbors, and an eerie secret waiting to be uncovered. Derek and Maria Broadus had just bought their dream home, a majestic 6-bedroom house on 657 Boulevard. It was nearly perfect. The kind of home where you could imagine raising a family, hosting holidays, and watching your kids grow up in safety and comfort. But within just a few days of finalizing the purchase, their dream turned into something much darker. It all started one evening when Derek was alone at the house, doing a bit of painting before the family moved in. Everything was quiet, calm, the kind of silence that wraps around you in an old house. He stepped outside to check the mailbox. Inside, there was a single white envelope. No return address, just his new address, handwritten in thick, almost childlike letters. He opened it casually. Dearest new neighbor, at 657 Boulevard. Allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. At first, it seemed kind, even warm. But the tone quickly shifted. 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now. I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s. My father watched in the 1960s. Now, it is my time. Derek felt his stomach drop. The letter continued. Do you know the history of the house? Do you know what lies within the walls? I walk by it every day. I watch it. I know your children's names. I've seen them playing in the yard. I see you've started renovations. That's good, but be careful. 657 doesn't like to be changed. The writer signed off as simply the Watcher. Derek was disturbed, but tried to stay calm. Maybe it was a prank. He went home to Maria and told her everything. Together, they contacted the previous owners. Had they ever received anything like this? The answer: yes. Just before selling, they too received a strange letter. They dismissed it, assuming it was a joke. But now, the Broadest family couldn't ignore the growing sense of dread. Days later, another letter arrived. This one was even more specific. It referred to the children by name and birth order. It asked disturbing questions. Have you found what's hidden in the walls yet? Are the children sleeping in the front rooms? That's where I used to watch the previous family. One letter read, It has been years since the young blood ruled the house. Have you found all of the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement, or are they too afraid to go down there alone? The writer seemed to be watching the house constantly, noting the workers, the tools they were using, the times the family came and went. Every detail was soaked in malice. Fear began to spread through the family. The children were no longer allowed near the house. The Broadduses hired private security, installed cameras, and contacted the police. But no suspect was found. The police interviewed neighbors, examined handwriting, even tested DNA on the envelopes, but came up with nothing. No one saw anything. No one heard anything, and the letters kept coming, each one more unsettling than the last. The Watcher spoke of the house like a living being. He claimed to have an obligation to protect it. The Broaddus family never moved in. They tried to sell the home, but who would buy a house with a stalker? The story went public. News outlets picked it up. The home's value dropped, and so did the family's sense of safety. At one point, they even considered demolishing the house and splitting the lot, but the town denied their request. Eventually, years later, they sold it at a massive loss. The buyers, strangely, never reported receiving letters. Some believed the whole story had been fabricated, but others believe the Watcher only wanted the Broaddus family gone, and got what he wanted. To this day, the identity of the Watcher has never been revealed. Was it a jealous neighbor, or a deeply rooted family tradition that no one outside truly understood? What made it worse was how much the Watcher knew. Information that could only be discovered by someone watching from close by, maybe even across the street. Imagine knowing someone is watching your every move, that they know your children's names, your schedules, your home's layout, just waiting for something to go wrong. They never broke in. They never made a physical move, but they didn't have to. They got into the family's head. Their fear, their paranoia, their peace of mind, gone. What began as a dream home became a modern nightmare. So next time you move into a quiet neighborhood and check your mailbox, remember, some Watchers don't need to knock. They already know you're there, and they're waiting, watching, always watching.